Hello and welcome to davbenbak Gaming. We're going to go ahead and do a walkthrough of how to get started on Fallout 4 on the survival mode difficulty. Now I've gone ahead and cut the cutscenes from the intro, and here we are in the vault. And just so you know, when I met the salesman, I went ahead and maxed out strength to 10 and maxed out intelligence to 10. We'll reset those values when we get to the elevator. But for now, that's going to help us as we move through the vault. So let's go ahead and open the pod here for Nora.
Oh, God!
All residents must vacate immediately.
I'll find who did this.
And we take the wedding ring.
I promise.
Lightweight and good for caps. We'll definitely sell that when we get a chance. And we'll go ahead and move through the vault. Now, we're going to spend our time in the vault looting absolutely everything that we can possibly carry. There's no sense in passing this up, as there are valuable clipboards here on the table, as well as an additional 111 jumpsuit. If you're interested in the lore of the vault, here's a terminal that will essentially confirm that all of your neighbors who are approved for the vault, this being them, the Cochrans, the Whitfields, and DiPietro, are all deceased, since the life support system has given out. But let's be on our way. We're going to try the exit, only to find that it will not open.
Malfunction in emergency exit door override. Please contact your Vault-Tec maintenance representative for service.
So we'll go this way and immediately grab a security baton. We'll be going in this room soon enough. To the right, have an empty locker. But if we completely search the room from right to left, another clipboard, cigarette, coffee cup, in the desk. We're going to want that bottle. I'll show you why in a minute. Now we can read about security for Vault 11, get lots of good lore. I'm going to skip that and let you watch that at your leisure. I'm going to try and get as much in the hour that I have to record this. So we're going to arm our security baton, go forward, and it's time to whack some rad roaches. Might as well just run up. And since we have our intelligence set to the max of 10,
Roaches?
we're going to
What
get
the
all
hell?
13 experience points for every rad roach we kill. So looting, going around the room left to right. Again, these bottles will become invaluable. Now there is a little mini game in here. We're going to go ahead and eject the holotape for Red Menace, but you can play Red Menace on the terminal and on your Pip-Boy. Go around this kitchen area. Definitely want this hot plate. Nothing in the fridge. Toaster, good for scrap. And again, we want to make sure we get... Oh, I did not mean to sit down. But here's our character. Mr. Good Morning Sunshine. Stop that. He's got the kind of disgruntled veterans look. Think about maybe Vietnam vet era-ish looking. I know this is the 50s, but he's a war veteran, and so he's maybe a bit disillusioned with the whole 50s times. Maybe in a Jack Kerouac kind of way, the way those veterans didn't exactly embrace the Eisenhower 50s and conformity like everyone else. So really nothing to loot in this area, and lots of good beds, but it will not allow us to sleep at this time. Sleeping is an important part of survival mode, as is the well-rested bonus. So let's go ahead and equip our security baton. Again, we're just going to run right up on this rad roach. There's no sense in waiting around. I know what we're here for. We can investigate this guy.
Where is everyone?
Well, they're all dead. There's a clipboard, come in handy. Now, if you want to time the and grab that rad roach meat, there you go. There's nothing down here to loot. So we're gonna move on. More rad roaches. Gonna let that guy come on down. And that guy come on down. Now, water fountains inside the vault. The water here inside the vault is good. And as you can see by drinking water, we are recovering hit points. But we also have the option to fill bottles. So we're going to go ahead and fill bottles, which is the important reason for picking up every empty bottle we find. Because part of the survival experience is keeping up with food and water intake. And we want to make sure that we're drinking purified water as opposed to irradiated water. Now, no sense in wasting ammo, so we're going to go back to the security baton for dealing with the rad roaches that we encounter here.
Is this all that's left?
In the vault. Again, I want to make sure that we completely loot every area available. Here's a cryolator.
Nice. Coming back later for you.
We certainly can. That is one good thing, that we can always return to the vault if we wish to. So investigating this little room right here. Always want to check mirrors, as they usually can be a medicine cabinet, and you can find drugs. So, I completely searched this room. This is the overseer station. And so this would be the overseer's terminal. Again, if you want to know more lore, you can certainly do that, but we're interested in moving on. So we're interested in opening the tunnel. And I guess the game would like for you to practice shooting, but we're going to save our ammo, and we're just going to run up and then run back and then start the melee. Should be 5 red roaches here. If you took a little more damage than you were expecting, again, you can always fully heal up here at the water fountain. There we go. And then we'll move back through the vault. Oh. Come on. Now again, we can loot from left to right. We really didn't want to miss anything. Here's the emergency exit we were not able to open earlier. If you remember the toolbox when we first got to the end. Here's some more ammo here. Let's not miss that. More ammo in this locker. There's another rad roach that we can hear. There he is.
Is anyone alive? Did anyone get out?
So at this point, our objective is the pit boy. And if I have done this correctly, as you can see, we have the adrenaline heart, Our adrenaline is giving us a damage of plus 10. Oh, come back. We have 2 pistols. I must have missed a security baton somewhere because I should have 2 security batons. I can equip these eyeglasses for plus 1 to perception. We have 2 wedding rings. Mine and Nora's, but as you can see, the weight is 0, but the value is high, so we'll be selling them. We have 9 purified waters, 14 rad roach, 4 stim packs, and a radaway. A couple of bobby pins, a lot of junk, and 135 rounds. So we've done good looting here. I don't believe I've missed any empty bottles, and we are ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and hook our pit boy up to the vault control door.
Vault door cycling sequence initiated. Please stand back.
And don't judge me too harshly. I went through as quickly as I could, but somehow seemed to have missed a security baton. But essentially everything else looks like I'm right on track. Now we can go through to here, down to the elevator. And this is the time where we want to change our specials. Again, at strength and intelligence maxed out, just to make our way through the vault and gain, as intelligence contributes to your experience points. I had that maxed out to earn as much experience as possible as we went through the vault, and as all of our combat was melee, I maxed out strength. But our moving forward stats are going to be strength of 6, perception of 4, endurance of 4. Oh, sorry. We're going to back off education, intelligence to 7, so we can do experience of 4. We're going to bring agility down to 3 and charisma up to 3. And the thought process behind these stats as we leave is going to be strength is 6, so that we don't have to adjust it much. Strength meets carry weight, and at the beginning we're going to be very happy to have as much carry weight as possible, but level 6 will give us access to the strong back perk. Perception, we will find the perception bobblehead pretty soon there in Concord, but I put it at 4 so we can open up the locksmith perk. Endurance, right now it is at 4, and that's going to give us chem resistant. Charisma is 3, so that we can enable Lone Wanderer. As we play through, we are going to want to at least get it up to level 6 so that we can use local leader and establish supply trains. Intelligence is starting off at 7 because we want to, as our very first perk, take Chemist. We are going to need the help of chems at the very beginning of this game, and the most important chem at the beginning of this game is antibiotics. we want to be able to craft that as soon as possible. For agility, we have agility set at 3 so that we can at least get sneak. When we get into Sanctuary, we're going to look for the special book and we're going to use it to increase to 4 so we can enable Mr. Sandman to take advantage of silenced weapons. And then luck, right now I have luck at 1. When we get a chance, we definitely want to at least get luck up to 2 for Scrounger. I like 3 for Bloody Mess. But there are several good luck, especially if you're a VATS player. There's lots of important luck options, but at the beginning we really just need to concentrate on survival. So this is my best exit the vault survival build. So we're going to accept that. We're going to keep our name. I kind of like the fact that Codsworth will call me Mr. Sunshine.
Enjoy your return to the surface, and thank you for choosing Vault Tech.
Because we will be bringing some sunshine to the world of Fallout. As you can see, we due to our intelligence boost as we move through the vault, we're very close to level 2. And as we move to Sanctuary, we should hit level 2 pretty quick. So our first waypoint is to go home. And of course there is the city of Sanctuary, if you remember the opening cutscene, and our home is pretty much right there. But before we do that, we're going to loot everything that we can from the vault entry site. We're going to start with this building here. Again, empty bottles are your best friend so that you can stay in stock with purified water. And one of the reasons it's so important to stay fully hydrated, as the minute you are not fully hydrated, is it starts to diminish your experience, your intelligence. And in this early game, high intelligence is everything. So we've got the explosive crates. If we ever do need to return to the vault, or you wish to return to the vault, this is all you have to do is press that button and run out on the pad and you will be lowered back to the vault. There's also some looting in this little hut here. Fans are important. You'll quickly learn that anything that has screws or adhesive or gears is vitally important. Now, we're going to go on a little gardening run here real quick. As you exit the gates here, if you remember all of these people waiting at the gates to get in, looks like they didn't make it, is see your sign here. You can follow it over here. And you have some wild gourd blossoms to harvest. Looking over here, you see a hub flower. Continuing around, there's our billboard sign. See another hub flower. and then returning to the billboard sign. See some more hub flour there. And the reason why hub flour is so important is for crafting Psycho. It's another hub flour there. Now we want to be really important. Okay, there is the fence. We're going to follow this fence around. Stay close to the fence here, because if you go outside just a little bit that way, you'll trigger a bunch of mole rats. And we're not ready to take on the mole rats just quite yet, but we'll come back for them. So, back out the gate and following the quest marker. Here's some silt bean. Some more hub flour. And across the bridge back to Sanctuary. We'll get a little XP bonus for Sanctuary. Almost made a little conversation with Codsworth, and we should be there. Nothing in the mailbox for us. I'm gonna...
I live and breathe. Oh, it's really you.
Codsworth. What happened to the world?
The world, sir? Well, besides our geraniums still being the envy of Sanctuary Hills, I'm afraid things have been dreadfully dull around here. Things will be so much more exciting with you and Mrs. Back. Where is your better half, by the by?
And we're just gonna say what happened.
They killed her.
Sir, these things you're saying, these terrible things, I believe you need a distraction. Yes, a distraction to calm this dire mood. It's been ages since we've had a proper family activity. Checkers, or perhaps charades. Sean does so love that game. Is the lad with you?
Sean's been kidnapped. But I'm going to find him. I'm going to get my son back.
It's worse than I thought. You're suffering from hunger-induced paranoia. Not eating properly for 200 years will do that, I'm afraid.
200 years? What? Are you?
A bit over 210, actually, sir. Or give or take a little, for the Earth's rotation and some minor dings to the old chronometer. That means you're 2 centuries late for dinner. Perhaps I can whip you up a snack? You must be famished.
So we're going to go with the charisma check, which you can see is in yellow.
Codsworth, you're acting a little bit weird. What's wrong?
Oh, sir,
And that's all we had to do was pass that charisma check to get the little bonus, XP bonus we needed to get to level 2.
I spent the first 10 years trying to keep the floors waxed, but nothing gets out nuclear fallout from vinyl wood. Nothing! And don't get me started about the futility of dusting a collapsed house. And the car! How do you polish rust?
Stay with me, pal. Focus.
I'm afraid I don't know anything, sir. The bombs came and all of you left in such a hurry. I thought for certain you and your family were dead. I did find this holotape. I believe the missus was going to present it to you as a surprise. But then, well, everything happened.
A holotape? What's on it?
I believe it's a private message for you. My etiquette protocols would not permit me to play it for myself. Any standard holotape reading device should be able to play it back. Oh, like that Pip-Boy on your arm. That should work brilliantly. Now, enough feeling sorry for myself. Shall we search the neighborhood together? The missus and young Sean may turn up yet.
Yeah, let's
All
go
right.
ahead and do that.
Lead the way.
Proud to serve, sir.
Surprised he didn't give us a little bit of a salute there. Let's go ahead and arm our pistol. Our reliable 10 mil. And it's kind of hard to want to get the XP, but Codsworth does a pretty good job of jumping in front of you. But
My senses are picking up movement in another house.
but we can beat him to the next area. Which is going to be this house right here. I'm going to go ahead and go to sneak. And get the... Come on. Come on. There we go. Got the XP for that.
Am I right, sir? Mr. Sunshine, your family isn't here either. They're really gone, aren't they?
Yes, Codsworth, they are. But Sean's out there somewhere.
Sean's out there, Codsworth. I need to find him.
What about Concord, sir? Plenty of people there. And last I checked, they only pummeled me with sticks a few times before I had to run back home.
There's still people alive in Concord?
Yes, although they're a bit rough. You remember the way? Just across the southern footbridge, out of the neighborhood and past the Red Rocket Station? I shall remain here and secure the home front.
All right. So while we're here, let's go ahead and we need to grab as many of these bug parts as possible. And then, of course, back here in the corner hidden is a skeleton with a pipe pistol. Looks like they had some barricade action going here. But we need to get around and get our bug carcasses. So that's 2. Should be 1 more. There he is. I just need to... Let's reload. Now we'll come back and thoroughly loot all of these houses. Loot and scrap. All of them later. But for right now, what we want to look for is what I call the Doomsday Prepper House. So if you go down the cul-de-sac, back behind this house, as you can see, we've now flagged for fatigue. But let's go ahead and level up. And as I said, our first thing we're going to pick is going to be chemist. So, we can harvest this moot fruit. You can follow this tree up to the roof. We have a duffel bag, some more ammo, and another pipe pistol. Drop down and enter this root cellar. And we're going to loot everything we can down here, starting from right to left. Now this is an advanced safe. We're going to come back for that, because the very next perk that we pick is going to be lock picking. Now, any of this alcohol, or what I like to say pre-war food, anything from before when the bombs dropped, we're going to sell, because we're going to have so much crafted food with no rads that we're really not going to need any of this pre-war food. Now, if not mistaken, I've gotten everything from this bunker. And, oh, I say everything, I missed the top shelf. So let's go back to the Commonwealth. And our next stop, let's recover the bugs that we killed, are actually Codsworth killed. I'm gonna get that bubble gum, this toaster, and any carcasses that we find here. And again, we'll come back and fully loot this location later in episode 2. There's a vault, there's a safe right there. We'll come back for that. So next we can see Codsworth hanging out at our old house, and then this house right across the street. Now first let's go back home, because we have the very important, well, one, there's a Grognar magazine right there.
Bingo.
Peppermill is important. It has a gear in it. And again, we'll come back here and more thoroughly loot. Another empty bottle. But the real prize here is the RU Special book. And we're going to use that to increase agility.
I'm coming, buddy.
Alright, and again, we'll be back to loot blast radius is good for nuclear material. This toy car is going to be good for a spring or a gear. Can't remember, but we'll figure that out in a minute. So we're going to run back over here, and this is going to kind of be our base of operations. So let's discover this workbench. And this is going to allow us to scrap. So before I scrap, I like to thoroughly investigate a room. Alright, so there's nothing here. Let's go ahead and start scrapping. And this is going to put the raw components into our workbench. So this room is empty, and I generally leave this room empty, and this becomes what I like to call my scrap room, and I'll show you why toward the end of this video. So then we have this room. Again, I like to check everything for looting first. And now we can totally scrap this room. Okay, so let's see how we're doing. Oh no, we are parched. So we are -1 intelligence. So let's go over, take care of that real quick. We should have plenty purified water from looting and leaving the vault. Nothing here. Let's start scrapping. Now in hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have scrapped that radio. I could have possibly left that for future residents of Sanctuary. Alright, everything's looted there. Let's investigate. Nothing in the trash can, nothing in the fridge. Time to start scrapping. Now, we're going to do the door separate from the fridge. Oh, did we miss this chair? Now here on the patio, some important things we want to grab are we want this battery, used oil can, duct tape, typewriter, I have not confirmed that if we were to have scrapped this toolbox, if we would get the scrap of the contents. I'm not 100% sure on that one. So for me, it's just easier to go ahead and grab all this stuff first and then start scrapping. I want to be real careful to get the concrete here, these cinder blocks, and not the armor workbench. Get a lot of good scrap from that. I'm going to leave that oil lamp for now, just because I do like the ambient light at night. And as you can also see, for these wrecked and collapsed buildings, I'm just assuming you've already played Fallout 4, and so that's why you're choosing to do this on survival mode. So all of this should really look pretty familiar to you. This total and complete scrapping of Sanctuary. Now what I want to do is get the other two workbenches that we're missing and bring them back to kind of our base. I'm going to get out of the build mode because sometimes there are some pesky roaches over here. Let me see if I can get over here without triggering them just yet. And we're going to grab this cook station and bring it back to our base. And just for me, kind of like to put the cook station right here in this corner. Next, we want to go grab this chem station. Apparently, if you go back down here to the end of the street, we have this collapsed building that you can scrap. And then apparently, here, let's get the stump. This house right here belonged to the local drug dealer, neighborhood drug dealer, which is why he would have a chemistry station behind his house. But we'll come back and read that lore later. For now, we just need the chem station. I'm going to drag that back to our base. I kind of like to put it here on the edge of the porch. Also kind of like to grab this one and put it here on the edge of the porch. Just kind of have to I like to kind of have all my stuff together. So there's our weapons workbench, our armor workbench, chemistry station, workshop. So let's see how we're doing. According to the game, we're at 111 out of 135. So this is why I call this the scrap room. You don't want to store your junk as it is. You want to scrap everything possible and then store the components. So if I go to my inventory and all this junk, I'm just going to start dropping this stuff. Now I'm not going to drop these beer bottles because I don't want to scrap them. And I'm not going to drop these cigarettes. There's another empty bottle I'll keep. But anything that I'm going to break down for components, I'm going to keep these Nuka-Cola bottles. I'm going to keep that cigarette pack. Now, as you can see, we have all this stuff around us in a circle in the floor. And here's where we start scrapping. So the difference between a regular hairbrush and a fancy hairbrush is that it contains silver. Oh, scrap. I know this seems a little tedious, but I just wanted to show the process. I'll try not to do this on camera too many times. But that should be pretty much everything we were carrying turned to junk, or at least scrapped to the components, I should say. This way, you can go, and when you say transfer, you can say store all my junk. And then again, because carry weight is now kind of a important thing, we just really need one 10 mil pistol. We don't need to carry any of our, I should have scrapped that, any of our pre-war food, because we're going to sell that. Any of our booze that we've collected. I'm going to keep one pipe pistol. I'm going to keep all that purified water, even though it does add up. As you can see, each one is a half a pound. And half a pound will start to add up here at some point. Keep one security baton. Store those sugar bombs. Store that additional vault suit. Winning rings don't weigh anything. Here we are, down to 27. So let's see, what time is it in the Fallout world? 6:30 p.m. Well, let's do a little more scrapping. Let's go ahead and loot our house, our old house, I should say. Always check the mailboxes, by the way. Globes are good for cork. Washers and dryers occasionally have some caps in them. Oh, a Vault Tech lab coat. And why do we want that? Apparel. Because it gives us an intelligence of 2. So. There's soap, but for some reason this soap is unlootable. But when you do see soap, grab it because it breaks down into the component of oil. And the carry weight is pretty much infinitesimal. So that's one thing you're going to learn. As carry weight is an issue in survival mode, is the scrap per weight ratio. And yes, you can scrap entire vehicles. It's just that easy. Again, always scrap the fridge door separate from the fridge. Might seem a little harsh. Yep, we're scrapping all Sean's stuff. But the important thing is we have what we need to go and find Sean.